الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق وامسحوا برؤوسكم وأرجلكم إلى الكعبين وإن كنتم جنبا فاطهروا وإن كنتم مرضى أو على سفر أو جاء أحد منكم من الغائط أو جاء أحد منكم من الغائط أو لامستم النساء فلم تجدوا ماء فتيمموا صعيدا طيبا فامسحوا بوجوهكم وأيديكم منه ما يريد الله ليجعل عليكم من حرج ولكن يريد ليطهركم وليتم نعمته عليكم لعلكم تشكرون. واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم وميثاقه الذي واثقكم به إذ قلتم سمعنا وأطعنا واتقوا الله إن الله عليم بذات الصدور. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين لله شهداء بالقسط ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم على ألا تعدلوا اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. وعد الله الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم. والذين كفروا وكذبوا بآياتنا أولئك أصحاب الجحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ هم قوم أن يبسطوا إليكم أيديهم فكف أيديهم عنكم واتقوا الله وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون. صدق الله مولانا العظيم وبلغ رسوله النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم.
So inshallah, we are further, the second ruku of Suratul Maida. And as we discuss that Surah Maida is very late surah in the Medina. It is the big surah that was revealed in Medina, and we have read Surah Baqarah, Surah Al Imran, and this is the last big surah that, and it corresponds with the latter life of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So in the previous ruku, the all things related to the performance of Hajj, the rites of Hajj was discussed. And what happened, like Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was 53 years old when he migrated to Medina from Mecca. And he spent last 10 years of his life in Medina. And this last 10 years of his life were very eventful. Those people who have written about Seerah, they have divided the blessed life of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam into three distinct periods. One is from his blessed birth to age 40, in which he showed an exemplary character, and people of Makkah started calling him Sadiqul Amin. And the second part is the one from the age 40 to age 53, in which he declared his prophethood and invited people to Islam. And the third part, which is the last 10 years of his blessed life, in which he established Islamic state in Medina and propagated Islam that way. So how are we supposed to follow the example of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and these three distinct periods into our lives? So all the ills and evils in this world, we are like basically our religion is the religion of tabligh or propagation of Islam or the mission of Islam. And this first period of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam life, from his blessed birth to age 40, in which he propagated Islam just by an exemplary character, but he did not present teachings of Islam. So we ordinary Muslims, we are supposed to follow that. Like we are not alims, but if we show an exemplary life and that we live an honest life, a good manner life, abstain from the and the life of taqwa, that is the first period of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam life, and that applies to the general people. So this is our way of tabligh. And second part, in which from age 40 to age 53, he taught people about Islam, what is Islam. He taught Tawheed and Rasalat and the previous prophet. And this is the function of ulamas. The function of, just like for the ordinary people, general people, is to live in good, pious life, well-mannered behavior. But scholars or the alims, their rule is the one that corresponds to the second period of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam life, in which to present teachings of Islam to other people. And the third period, in which Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam established Islamic state and established justice, Islamic laws, that is up to the rulers and the hakim, who have the authority over the other people. So now coming back to Surah Maida. Surah Maida is a Madani surah and very last part of the big surahs. So that deals with conquest of Makkah and so in the conquest of Makkah, when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam moved to Medina, second year of Hijrat, Battle of Badr took place, and that marked the golden age, the beginning of the golden age of Islam, because before the Battle of Badr, Muslims were considered oppressed people and Quraysh were, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised them a very decisive victory, and Quraysh was beaten. And after that, everybody, all the tribes in Arabia started seeing Muslims in great awe. And that was the second year of Hijrah. And the third year of Hijrah, Battle of Uhud, took place, and it was a tough time for Muslims because, in Battle of Uhud, that Muslims suffered a very heavy loss. 70 of the Sahabas, entered martyrdom. And fourth year, of Hijrat, no battle could take place because it was a very bad year for rainfall, and there was nothing to graze. So Abu Sufyan had promised that he will meet Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in Badr, but he never came. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he went all the way to Badr, but no battle took place. In the 5th year of Hijrat, Jangul Ahzab, Jang Khandaq, or the War of Trench, there are different names for this, in which all the Arabian tribes, they joined forces and attacked Medina. But Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, on one of the advice from Salman Farsi, dig the trench around Medina. So this huge army of about 12,000 strong, they came, but they could not cross that trench, and that's why their provisions ran out, their ration supplies ran out, and they had to go back to their home tribes. So that was 5th year of, and only 6 months after that, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam signed a treaty of Hudaybiyah, which some Sahabas had difficulty understanding the wisdom behind that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described it, Inna fatahna laka fatham mubina. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised a great victory for that. And that came true because when the Treaty of Hudaybiyah was established, peace was established between Quraysh, its allied tribes, and Muslims. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in just 2 years, from 6th year of Hijrat to 8th year of Hijrat, concentrated on his dawah or tabligh. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a great success in just 2 years, that most of the Muslims, they multiplied, multifold. And in 8th year of Hijrat, when Quraysh, they broke the treaty by slaughtering Muslims in Kaaba, and they did not honor their own tradition. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, directed Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to march toward Mecca, and Mecca was conquered in 8th of Hijrah. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, so but Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, performed Hajj in the last Hajj in the 10th year of Hijrah. The reason being is that in Zil Hajjah, Quraysh used to perform their Hajj, but it was not marked in stone that it will be done on 10th of Zil Hajj. But what they used to do is set up a date depending on moon. So it could be 8, 9. So when this calendar or the moon sighting on the 10th year of Hijrat, that precisely match up with the 10th of Zil Hajj, and that's when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam performed. So in Surah Maida, this is the period in which Surah Maida was revealed, and as we discussed, that Surah Maida is equivalent to the whole book that was revealed to Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. He was given Injil, and Surah Maida is equivalent to Injil. And one of the thing that is being mentioned here, that you believe, when you stand up for salat, so faghsulu. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing the wuzu, that how you should perform. So this cleanliness in Islam, or the taharat, is the basic teachings of Islam, in which there are two, And the person who's in unclean state is called in the state of hadas. Hadas means unclean. And there are two kinds of hadas. Hadas-e-asghar, or the small uncleanness, and hadas-e-akbar, in which, which is a bigger one. So smaller hadas-e-asghar, can be clean by performing wuzu. And hadas-e-akbar, if a person is in that state, he has to perform a ghusl or a bath, Islamic ghusl. So what are the conditions that a person has to make wuzu? That when he responds to call of nature, he urinates or call of nature, or he passes gases, or when he goes to sleep, so his wuzu is lost, and he has to make the wuzu the way Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam taught us, washing your hands, washing, rinsing your teeth, and all that, the whole in the sequence which are detailed in ahadith, and the way we perform it. And another one, even the ghusl, the Islamic ghusl, that is necessary when a person goes through the relationship between him and his wife, or a sexual intercourse. He's in uncleanness, and he's in the state of hadas-e-akbar, and that can be corrected only by ghusl. And the Islamic ghusl is, as we know it, washing your hands, washing your private parts, performing the wuzu. And this is the sunnat way of performing shower, that he used to put water on his shoulder 3 times, and 3 times on his left shoulder, wash his hair and the whole body. That is the thing. This is the physical cleanliness, but there's another cleanliness that takes you to the closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is purity of heart. Just like, you have to wash your body, you have to wash your clothes and keep it stand when you are standing in presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in namaz in a clean state. Similarly, same goes with the heart. If a person has taken a shower, has worn the clean clothes, but if his heart is dirty, how heart can be dirty? Heart, just like, in the clothing, if a dirt can make or something can, any unclean thing can make your clothes dirty or your body dirty. Similarly, your heart can go dirty if you have some jealousy of your own brother, your Muslim brother. You have some kind of animosity and some kind of, so these are all the things these are the spiritual, like we talk about physical cleanliness, but spiritual cleanliness is cleaning of your heart. And all the cleanliness is done by water. Like, when you want to clean your body and take a shower, that's done by water. If you want to wash your clothes, that's done again by water. Like, you put your clothes in the washing machine and, your clothes are clean. How about heart? Heart is also cleansed by water. Which water is that? Is the water that becomes tears and you cry in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that cleans your heart. So crying is important because, as you say, just like, it is important to use water to clean your body and to clean your clothes, but same goes with your heart. If you want to clean your body, cry in sujood and in ruku and in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Sayyidina Umar Farooq, when he would perform his namaz, he will cry so much that his whole beard will get wet with tears. So that's why he would, this is basically cleansing of your soul and a body when you cry in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, and in the second ayat, وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ مِيثَاقَ الَّذِي وَاثَقْتُم بِهِ إِذْ قُلْتُمْ سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding a person of the ni'mat or the blessings that he has done on Muslims. We have many ni'mats in our life, or the many blessings in our life. Allah made us able-bodied. So Allah gave us food to eat. Allah, but biggest of all the ni'mat, or biggest of all the thing is that we were born in a Muslim family, and we, without any struggle, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put heart in our iman because we were born. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding such a great blessing it is for the Muslims that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you iman. So this is the biggest ni'mat that a person has it. Other being, in the day of judgment, one of the first two blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks, which we take for granted in this world, first one would be that you had a cold water to drink. Did you ever thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And you are able-bodied person. You had your hands, your limbs, your eyes. You are not blind. You are not, crippled. So did you ever thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for making you able-bodied? So these are the two blessings Allah will ask about. And what is the thankfulness or the shukr? Thankfulness or shukr is, Sufi scholars have described it. It is two parts. First is a verbal thank you, in which you say thank you Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And second thing is make a good use of all the ni'mas that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. So we are, yes,
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम अली भाई
ये क्या लॉस हो गया स्क्रीन किसी वजह से। एक मिनट, आप लोगों को सुनाई दे रहा है मुझे?
जी आवाज आ रही है, आवाज आ रही है आपकी।
अच्छा, मैं सॉरी, क्या हो गया पता नहीं। So the Sufi scholars have described what is the thankfulness or the shukr. Shukr is a good use of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you wealth, first thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and make a good use of that wealth by spending wisely, by spending on your poor and destitute people. So that's a good, the thankfulness of that. So it in essence, shukr is thankfulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and making good use of what Allah has given you. Just like, imagine if you have given a gift to a loved one, your child or your wife, and they did not make a good use of it. If you have given as a symbol of love, if you have given a friend a good shirt and he rips it apart and walks over it, so he's not making a good use of that. So this is considered not, he has not made good use, so he's not thanking you. Otherwise, first thing would be a verbal thank you. When he take a gift from you, he will have to say, oh, thank you very much, and then he will wear it, make a good use of it, iron it well, and show it to you that I'm wearing your shirt, so you will be happy. So same goes with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's gift. Like, we consider all the good things we have in our lives are basically the gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our health, our wealth, the good family life we have it, the iman we have it. It is not our doing, but it is the gift Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed, and we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah ta'ala increases our. And in the you believe, stand out firmly for Allah as witness for fair dealing, and do not let the hatred of other people do you. So this is the really important thing, that a Muslim believe in fairness and justice, and it is above and beyond all the other things. So the fairness, you cannot put your emotions into that. I will give you example that in one of the battle, Sayyidina Ali, he beat up one of the kafir warrior, and he sat on his chest and he was about to kill him. So that kafir, he thought that just before dying, he could not think of anything. So he spat on Sayyidina Ali. So Sayyidina Ali, he got up. So people ask that, why did you finish the job? So he said that, I was fighting for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but when that person spat on me, so I became furious. And if I would have killed that person, that would have been not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but rather than for my own revenge. So that was the sense of justice with that. But when you evolve emotion, when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in 8 Hijri, when the Makkah was conquered, he could have settled the scores. After that, these are the people who have driven him out of into the exile, the Sahabas into exile. They have Quraysh were the people who had tortured the Sahabas of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and killed some Sahabas, especially the poor and destitute Sahabas of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So, but Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, even in the conquest and the spearheading all those things against Islam and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was none other than Abu Sufyan. But how Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam dealt with Abu Sufyan, he said that his house is the house of protected house. He is protected, and anybody who take refuge in his house will be protected as well. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us that when we do not like somebody, that is important that we still deal with that person justly and fairly. A Muslim always deal people with fairness and justice. And now, what goes into the Hajj? In Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbidden any kind of violence in those 4 blessed months. That is Zilqada, Zilhajjah, Muharram. These are the 3 consecutive months, and then Rajab. So all fighting and all violence. So in that time, even if you see your worst enemy performing Hajj, and these are the 3 months, so your animosity cannot overpower you and do something which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbade you to do, not to fight in the holy sanctuary and not to fight in the holy months. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, reminding us that adopt righteousness, taqwa, or the righteousness, and this is the one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring you closer to Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that and this is the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that anybody who bring iman is the biggest ni'mat, and they do the righteous amanu wa amilu salihati lahum maghfiratun wa ajrun azim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared a great reward for them. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ الْجَحِيمِ. And those people who denied the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and for them there's a severe punishment. And these are the people of Ashabul Jahim. They are the people of hellfire. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu skuru ni'matallahu alaykum. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding Muslims that the special favor that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did it when a group of people try to harm you, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you. And so the way it happened, that all the there were a group of people who are trying to hurt Muslims, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected them. Especially they were confident, Quraysh, that in battle of Ahzab they will surround it. Arab had never seen an army that big as they had assembled in the battle of Khandaq, that is 12,000 strong army. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala nullified their strategy by Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and he with his Sahaba. So when he consulted his Sahabas what to do, so some Sahabas say that let's get out of Medina and fight the enemy outside Medina. Some people say that let them come into the Medina and we will fight within the streets of Medina. But it was Hazrat Salman Farsi, who was a Persian, and he advised that in my country, which is Persia, that during warfare what we do is we dug trenches and put water in those trenches. So there was no running water, so Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam ordered all the Sahabas to dig that trench, and when the trench was dug, that's how, Quraysh was unsuccessful in crossing and entering the Medina. So inshallah, we will leave it here. And if there's any questions, I will welcome that, or anybody wants to comment anything on that. And after that, we will do the